What is up, Lord of the Rings and Hobbit fans? My name is Trevor, and welcome back to another episode of Middle-earth Mondays. For most Mondays on my channel, we like to talk everything Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, and today we're ranking all 6 of these movies, 6 of my possibly favorite movies of all time. I'm very, very excited to get into this today. Go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. How does your guys' ranking compare? I love all these movies. It really breaks my heart to place one over the other, but we gotta do what we gotta do. So without further ado, let's get into our ranking. So, first up, at number 6 in last place is The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie as much as the next one, but on the most recent rewatch I had, I wasn't as invested in this film as I was in the first Hobbit or any of really the other Lord of the Rings movies. Don't get me wrong, this movie has an amazing amount of action, amazing amount of great characters coming in. You get introduced to Legolas and Tauriel, and you also have the awesome river scene where they're floating down in the barrels, and Legolas and everyone, they're killing all of Bolg's army and all their soldiers, and Legolas and Tauriel have that little relationship that's like, it's not really there because Tauriel and Keely are like in love, and it's awesome. I love The Hobbit, Desolation of Smaug. It truly breaks my heart to put it in last place, but again, we gotta do what we gotta do. Next up, at number 5 is The Hobbit, The Battle of the Five Armies. I dig this movie, and I know lots of people don't, but it's mostly because of the emotional tie I feel between Thorin, who's one of my favorite Middle-earth characters of all time. Smash the thumbs up button if you want a Middle-earth characters, heroes, and all Middle-earth heroes, all Middle-earth villains ranking. That'd be fun to do. It's not the point. The relationship between Thorin and Bilbo, how the end of the movie, Thorin basically resents Bilbo, then Bilbo's there with him with his final words, and Thorin's there. God, it breaks your heart out, okay? If you are invested in these movies, if you love these movies like I do, if you're a diehard Middle-earth fan like I am, it breaks your heart. It makes you so goddamn sad inside. And also, the rivalry between Thorin and Azog the Defiler is finally put out into flame. They put the flame out, and it is amazing, awesome fight scene they have. But also, you got Bard, the man of Lake Town, taking out Smaug with the arrow. What? Come on, baby! A fantastic movie. Coming in at number 4 is going to be The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Again, I love this movie. I love it with my whole heart. The Battle of Helm's Deep is easily the best battle inside all of the Lord of the Rings or Hobbit movies, but this out of the Lord of the Rings movies is just a little bit slower than I wanted it to be. That's a really big nitpick, and I sound like I just completely hated on the film, but I love this film so much. From the warg battle to get introduced to Éomer, Theoden King. You have Saruman who took over the mind of Theoden King because the minds of men are easily corrupted. That's just a Lord of the Rings line I always say. But you also have lots of like Wormtongue, Grima's in there, who's just a nasty little bastard, and you're like, God. You don't like him. You don't like him quite a bit at all. And also, this film, it really goes and carries off the first film so well. Literally, our objective is to find Merry and Pippin, as that Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli set out to do at the end of the Fellowship of the Ring. They go out to find them, and Merry and Pippin go on their adventure of their own with the Treebeard and the Ents, and that Treebeard Ents when they go and raid Isengard, and they finally take down Saruman. So many amazingly epic things from this film that I love with my whole heart. And again, it really does break my heart to put this film down this low, because I love it with my whole heart. A top 20 favorite all time for me, no question. But moving on here to number 3 is going to be The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. This one and The Fellowship of the Ring, they're kind of tying for second place right now almost. But The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey is a movie I wasn't expecting to love with so much as I did on this rewatch I did a couple months ago. I fell back in love with these characters. Martin Freeman is the perfect cast for Bilbo Baggins. And just get introduced to the company and hearing basically all the little tidbits that we get, basically because it's a prequel. So we have lots of tidbits that lead into the Lord of the Rings that we get like, oh my God, you get a tie back out from the Lord of the Rings to the Hobbit movies. That is so cool, and Peter Jackson is a mastermind for that. Whether this is meeting all of our characters from Dory, Ori, Feely, Keely, Bomber, Bofer, Thorin, everyone. It's so cool to meet our company and Bilbo as the burglar, but you also have Bilbo and Gollum down in the cave having the riddle off. That is epic. That is amazing. You get introduced to Bilbo's sword Sting, because it stings the spider's face. So many, again, just epic and awesome proportions of this film, and so many just awesome epic scenes, and a really great introduction to some amazing, amazing characters. My runner-up, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. This, to me, is one of the greatest intro movies of a trilogy or franchise of all time. This film sits with me so hard. I have it on Steelbook, and I love it so much, and I watch it all the time. And this is a film that every time I rewatch it, it just makes me fall in love with the Shire and the lore of The Lord of the Rings that much more. Makes me want to go and travel to New Zealand and be able to stay in these Hobbit-style homes, because that's a thing you can do. Just Throwing that out there, folks. But again, this is a movie that I absolutely adore, and I love Frodo. I love Samwise Gamgee. Everyone needs a Samwise Gamgee in their life. I love Merry. You love Pippin. You love all these characters you get introduced to, and our fellowship gets to go off to take the ring to Mount Doom, take the ring to Mordor, and put it out so the world is at peace. And again, that end battle scene, the end battle scenes in all these movies are amazing. It gives you chills when you watch them. It gives you chills when you think about them. But the ultimate sacrifice of Boromir himself, poor Sean Bean. I mean, that guy, Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings. Come on. You got to get better agent, brother. But when Boromir sacrifices himself for Merry and Pippin, that is just epic. And that is emotional. And speaking of emotional, in first place is the Lord of the Rings Return of the King. This is arguably my favorite movie of all time. I love it with my entire heart. And Aragorn, the Return of the King, I am Isildur's heir. He finally steps into the light and gets the heir that is his, and becomes the heir to the throne. And he goes on his epic journey again to finish off that journey with Legolas and Gimli. And I can't say enough amazing things about this film, but if we just talk about the ending, where all of our heroes from the Fellowship who made it out, besides Boromir, who made it to the end, everything they went to, they all go back to Rivendell where they first met, and they all go and basically congratulate Frodo, congratulate Sam that this is back to where we all started. Then the hobbits go back to the Shire, then they go all the way back to Minas Tirith for Aragorn's and Arwen's wedding. And Aragorn gives the most epic line of all time, my favorite possibly quote ever, and that is, "My friends, you bow to no one." And the entire Gondor army and everyone bow to Frodo, Sam, Merry, and Pippin. And I'm literally getting chills as we think of it. That moment alone right there quite possibly can make this movie one of my favorites of all time, if not my favorite of all time. Everything about it, from the action to the sacrifice to the heroism to the overall emotional and overall just pack of a punch they give to finish off this amazing trilogy. It won 11 Oscars for good reasons. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Therefore, it comes in at number 1. How does your guys' Lord of the Rings ranking compare? I know when I do these Lord of the Rings videos, I like to be silly, kind of dumb, kind of talking about all kinds of fun stuff. That's just because I love Lord of the Rings that much, and I enjoy talking about it with my whole heart. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I love doing these, guys. I love doing these videos, and I can hopefully try to get more out than once every month. But thank you guys so much for watching. How does your Lord of the Rings ranking compare? Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!